How's it going, fellow traders? It's Magic Trader here, and welcome to the Magic Trader Forex Mentorship. So, when you become a member, the first thing that you will see is that you are granted access to a private Twitter feed. And on this private Twitter feed, you will be able to follow along with what I am taking note of in the markets on a daily basis. Here's the private Twitter feed. So on the private Twitter feed, I'll be posting charts like, for instance, this morning I posted a 4-hour chart of gold pointing out the supply and demand zones. As you can see, price reacting from that area of demand, and then we have supply up here. So I point out areas of supply and demand on lower time frames. The lowest I go is 4 hour. All right, that's a chart of gold. Then we have a chart of oil. And so basically on this feed, I'll be posting updates on the markets, things that have happened since the last report that I've published on YouTube. And so commentary, you know, any communication between myself and members are done through the Twitter feed. Okay, so that's how you can get in contact with me. I'll do some polls, I'll post some inspirational stuff, but mostly charts, information, and a means of communicating with me throughout the day. All right, and then you'll also be given access to the Telegram feed. And so the Telegram feed will be used for me to post my institutional trade setups. Okay, so when there's an institutional trade signal and I'm willing to take the trade because I think it's a high probability trade, I'll post the trade setups within this community here. Okay, I'll also be posting my diary entries, or I should say journal entries. So for instance, here's a journal entry I did on March 15, 2018 on a Thursday. And so basically the first paragraph will be just explaining where we are at in terms of the markets and in terms of the moves that the institutions are making. And then I'll typically focus on a few pairs that are worth mentioning. So for here I'm mentioning gold and oil, and I'll go through some analysis on gold and oil on that page. And then when you flip to the next page, you can see that I did some analysis on the Aussie US dollar and then some analysis on the US CAD. And then when you see this symbol here at the bottom, that means that's the end of my journal entry. All right, so the journal entries are very important because what will typically happen is over the weekend I'll be posting my CFTC analysis report, which is essential to understanding the moves of the institutions. All right, so the CFTC report will look like this. It's called the Caught Edge report. Okay, every weekend I put it together and I send it out to all the members through the Telegram feed. So this past weekend I did another report. It was the 27th. I made a mistake here, but it's the 27th report. And so basically the first paragraph will just be explaining what's happening in the markets, what to watch out for, what we need to be aware of, potential big moves that are in play, or potential moves that were in play the following week that are worth mentioning. And then I'll point out the volatility for the week. So for here, the volatility for the week: Aussie rate release on Wednesday, NFP on Friday. So those two things will get the markets to start moving. I'll also put a snapshot of the Commitment of Traders report. For this one was for March 27th. So that basically points out all the positions that were being held by the institutions on all the major currency pairs. as well as gold, silver, copper, oil, natural gas, heating oil, and propane. These are the markets that I follow. All right, so here's a snapshot, and then I get into more in-depth analysis. So for instance, here's gold. Institutional traders have a bullish sentiment, and on the bigger picture, we're hitting a 3-month area of demand, and we're also reacting from a 6-month 20 EMA, so the force of price is up. So this will basically tell you, this one line here is basically going to tell you what direction I eventually want to take trades on. Because I'm a swing trader, I'm looking to open up positions in the direction that the institutions want to move price. So if the institutions want to move price upwards, I'm looking to take trades that are going to allow me to get on to price and ride that momentum to the upside. So I'm only focused on trading in the direction that the institutions are trading. Okay, so then I go into an overview. For instance, here for gold, I wrote price rallied upwards off the weekly 20 EMA, and the banks increased their long positions from 223,000 to 259,000 and reduced their shorts from 75K to 55K. Long exposure jumps back up to the 80s, but net positions climb from positive 148,000 to positive 203,000. Sentiment is bullish with this data, but as with the Euro US dollar, I mentioned that it seemed as though the banks were baiting traders to get in long right before they decided to drop price hard. Weekly bullish engulf holding price right now, but if that's taken out, 1260s is next. And then I have a snapshot of the institutional positions, and they will go back many months. For instance, here it starts at August 8th, so you can see what the institutional positions were on longs from back in August 8th up until aggressive positions, the coloration of the cells turning a dark red, meaning that the institutions were aggressively long. As that coloration turns light red, they become less aggressive. As they become blue, those positions become very cooled off. And then we can move up, and we see that now on March 27th, slightly more aggressive with their longs. So basically what I do in this report is I'll break down exactly what the positions are of the banks, and then I will interpret what this means for us in terms of where the opportunities are to profit from the moves that the institutions are going to create in the markets. And so basically this write-up will be very informative because it will set you up for understanding what is going to take place in the following week. Alright, so that is what gold will look like. That's what gold looks like. And then we have oil. I do the same thing. Institutional traders have a very strong bullish sentiment, so I go over what the big picture is. Force will be upwards, so I'm looking to take longs on oil. And then I have an overview of what the data means to us and how I interpret it to give me an edge in my trading. And then we have the US dollar, the Aussie US dollar, the US CAD, the US Swiss franc, the Euro US dollar, the pound US dollar, the US dollar Japanese yen, and the Kiwi dollar. So I go through all the major pairs and break down the institutional positions and then analyze it for you and break it down on what is usable, what is not, and what's most likely to happen in the markets for that week. Okay, so that's what the CFTC analysis report looks like. I create this report every single weekend and post it out to the members within the private Telegram feed. And then afterwards, I post a video analysis. So you get a report in writing, so you can take a look at it throughout the week and read the details. And then I also post a video analysis within the Telegram feed. And all you have to do is click on that, and it opens up right here. Okay, and it basically will go into explaining what is on the report. And like I said, the charts are displaying signs of the institutions are more focused on maintaining demand zones than they are removing the demand zones. Okay, so that will open up, and then you can watch that. Again, those videos are only for members. All right. And within the Telegram feed, I'll also be posting some documentaries of interest, some information regarding trading in general, trading psychology. I'll be posting some videos in there regarding trading psychology. Here's a mental toughness worksheet that I provided to members from Mark Douglas, okay, regarding trading psychology and such. So here is where I post all my content, as well as institutional trade signals. So what is an institutional trade signals? Well, an institutional trade signal is an area where the institutions have filled in orders, okay, have filled in so many orders that they are looking to have price reverse back to those areas so they can fill in the remaining orders that they have to eventually propel price in the direction of these orders so that they can profit. All right, so I analyze the charts to try to find those key areas where the institutions are going to reverse price and cause price to move in the direction that they want it to move in so that they could eventually profit. So I'll be posting those institutional trade signals that I will personally be trading in the room here. Here's an example of one on oil. So here's an institutional trade signal to go long. I'll put the buy limit, where my buy limit order will be, where my stop loss will be, where my bulletproof target is. And the bulletproof target is basically the way I structure my positions. I structure them so that when my bulletproof target is hit, which is usually the opposing structure that price will have to come into contact with. So in this case, expecting a drop in price to come to this area where the institutions have orders to go long. Once price gets in here and the reversal happens, the next obstacle will be this area here. And so my first target is right there. And when that first target gets hit, then the risk is off of my trade. That gets hit, I leave my target here, I leave my stop loss here, I leave my higher targets where they are, I don't move anything, but the trade becomes risk-free. That first target gets hit, and no matter what, even if my stop loss gets hit here, it's a risk-free trade. I don't lose any money. So it becomes risk-free. There's no stress. You can just sit back and watch price do what it's going to do. Okay, so I will typically post what the probability is of the trade working out and what the other options are for taking this trade if you want the trade to be even safer. How to wait for further confirmation to take the trade. Alright, so I'll be posting those institutional trade signals within the Telegram feed as well. And so this feed will only be to communicate to members. It's not going to be a chat room because I want to keep this feed as clean and clear as possible for members. Okay, so again, that is what is posted in the room, or in the channel I should say. The journal entries, the institutional trade signals, the CFTC report, the video report, and then we have something really important. We have the Forex market outlook videos. So throughout the week, what will happen is the markets typically make big moves on Tuesdays. Okay, so what will typically happen is big moves will come into the market, and then once those big moves have settled, I will analyze the markets and figure out exactly what the institutions are doing with those big moves. What big plays have they made? Have they removed the trend line? Have they removed opposing areas of supply or demand? And once I finish doing the analysis, I'll create a video breaking it all down. For instance, here's one right here. Forex market outlook for March 15, 2018. All right, so the big moves have taken place. The institutions have shown their cards, and now it's up for us to analyze and determine what were those moves that the institutions did, and how can we use those moves to forecast what price is going to do next. So you click on that Forex market outlook video, and then it opens up like this. Exactly where the institutions are looking to buy and sell is the key. You know, a lot of traders out there are drawing zones here and there all over their charts saying that they're supply and demand zones. Be careful with who you know, whose analysis you trust when it comes to supply and demand, because supply and demand is starting to become a little bit more of a popular thing. It's still a very unknown way of trading. That's how the institutions want it to stay. Line here. Okay, so I'll offer advice, complete analysis on all the major currency pairs and the miners. You can see all the pairs here at the bottom that I trade, all the majors and minors, everything that's most liquid. So I'll go through all of those pairs. So I'll basically point out all the supply and demand, the institutional supply and demand on the charts, on the monthly, weekly, daily, and 4-hour charts. And I'll explain to you what the institutions are doing, what those big moves were. I'll completely interpret all the moves that the institutions made during that big initial move of the week. And I'll explain to you what I'm waiting for on the charts, what trade signals have been presented, or what specifically I'm waiting for a trade signal to be presented. And then I'll typically drop in some lessons within the video explaining certain key aspects of supply and demand, market dynamics, how the institutions manipulate the markets, and so forth. Alright, so that's what these videos contain. Doing that, at least as of the latest report. Okay. The knowledge that I've gained all this time, and I'm still learning. Okay, so that's basically how things will unfold throughout the week. So, to recap, on the weekend, I do a analysis of the latest CFTC data. I compile a report that typically takes me between 4 and 5 hours to put together. I usually do that either on the Friday when it's released, or on a Saturday, or sometimes on a Sunday, but I'll get it done on the weekend. That's typically what happens. I get it done on the weekend. I send out the report to all my members for them to read through, and then I follow that up with a video analysis. So once that video analysis comes out, that basically prepares you for the week. And then I'll be doing webinars on Sunday afternoon, right before the market opens. We'll be doing live webinars where we will basically take a look at the markets. I'll do a Q&A session where people can ask me questions. The members can ask me questions regarding the CFTC data and the reports and the analysis that I've provided, and any questions regarding that will be addressed at that time. And then we'll go through the markets and take a look at what we should be prepared for the following week. All right? And then the markets will make their moves. Typically on Tuesdays is when they make their moves. Once the banks show their moves and they show their cards and they propel price in the direction that they want to propel it, then I will analyze the charts, do the Forex market outlook video, going through all the pairs, post it in the Telegram feed so that everybody is aware of what's happening. And then you can use this information to plan your own trades, either based on my analysis, or you can just sit back and wait like I am for those institutional trade signals so that you take the highest quality, highest probability trades only. Okay? I know that we have some day traders in the community that like to day trade, and they like to make trades on a daily basis. That's not how I trade, because the highest probability trades are the ones that you have to wait for. Okay? And those are the ones that the institutions are going to take in order to ride price to their targets. So, but you can take my analysis that I provide and trade off of those areas. I'm posting 4-hour charts, I'm posting daily charts, I'm giving you my analysis on what I believe is going to happen with price, whether price is going to move up or down, or where it's going to move to. I'll also be offering price targets on the areas that I believe price is going to be moving towards, and then you can take that analysis and make your day trades off of that. Okay, but remember, all this information is for educational purposes. You're here to ride the journey with me. Okay, you're here to follow along on my journey and learn the process that I use to make myself successful in navigating through the markets and profiting from the moves of the big institutions. All right, I just wanted to make this video to explain all this to everybody so that everybody knows what is to be expected from the community, what I offer, what I don't offer, and how's the best way to use this information that I provide to make you a better trader and to also make you a profitable trader. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll talk to you soon.